Well. Howdy, everybody. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to Morning Monster. I've got my monster right here. And if you want to chat with me, like everybody's saying good morning, hit the subscribe button right over here and be a subscriber on the channel. That unlocks the power to chat right on the live stream, like Philip, Craig, George, Sergio, Svenborn, Catherine, Alan, Larry, Kevin, Michael, TW, Brian, Rongamer, Randy, Nikki, Andreas, Darren. Good morning, everybody. Glad to have you. And welcome to the Morning Monster. Whew. What a day yesterday, right? Jerome Powell essentially doing exactly like I said. Hey, there's Goose. Mother Goose. Exactly like I said, pretty much. He's like, oh, economy's a little hot. I told you they were going to pump the brakes on this narrative of rate cuts. I kind of saw it coming, and I mean they built up all the numbers to support pumping the brakes on the rate cuts, and it's like I said. Hey, Kimberly, my lovely bride, is here. Everybody behave now. General Rush, good morning, and it just makes sense. I mean, if the economy is actually strong, you don't cut rates. Plain and simple. If the economy's strong, you don't cut rates. Period. Hey, Ken Zen Master, don't recognize your name, but welcome to the stream. Welcome. If you're first time on the stream, let me know, and I would love to welcome you. I had lots of people leave me comments yesterday that they were new, first time viewer, and it's like, for long time listener, first time caller. A lot of people were first time viewers. I appreciate it. Some were long time followers, first time viewers. So I do welcome everybody. Welcome to the community. I do this every day just to try to help you get ahead. You don't have to watch it every day. You can just tune in the days you want to, but I think it's valuable information every day. And I don't repeat a lot, or I try not to repeat a lot. Some things are important points. And this I do repeat. All trading involves a substantial risk of loss. All right. Past performance not necessarily indicative of future results. This presentation intended to be informational, educational, fun, and entertaining. It is not a recommendation to buy or sell anything at all. Don't buy stuff from gurus. Don't buy reports. Don't buy any of that crap. It's literally all crap. I mean, even the stuff I do, you could do for free. But if you want to cut the timeline a little bit, come join me. And but otherwise, don't trade. All right, don't buy stocks, don't buy options, don't buy forex, don't buy futures, don't buy cryptos, don't buy bonds, don't long them, don't short them. Trading is dangerous, and you're probably going to lose money. A substantial risk of loss. And if you desire personal financial advice, you got to hire and consult a financial advisor, but make sure you trust them, because most people out there just interested in making some of your money, some of their money. I mean, let's be honest about it. That's how the market works, even. So, in the calendar, wrapping up the week, we have not a lot happening today. A couple little news items like unemployment. We have the ISM manufacturing PMI coming in. Manufacturing prices. Then tomorrow we have our average hourly earnings, non-farm employment, unemployment rate, revised consumer sentiment. Tomorrow could be a little bit of mover. Of course, after the market could be a big mover, because we have Apple, Amazon, Meta. I kind of started out with the Apple on the thumbnail. I mean, that's coming up tomorrow. I mean, tonight, really, tomorrow. Well, we'll find out what happens in the market tomorrow, but, coming up after the close today, get my timeline all messed up in my head. So, yeah, Derek, good morning. First time, super I don't even know. Orange. Oh, super orange tea. That's what it says. I was like, Super Ortega? Orange tea. Super orange tea. Cool. Thanks for coming. Thanks for watching. Thanks for letting me know. Thanks for subscribing. And remember, anything I say that you like or is helpful along the way, give me a thumbs up. Give me a like. Give me a, push the button down there below. And I appreciate the interaction with the video. It's been a pretty stacked week so far. We're having we're seeing Royal Caribbean kind of popping this morning too, and got Sirius XM, Honeywell, Tractor Supply. I mean, just lots of stuff. And this earnings keeps on going tomorrow. Now we've got most of the most of the Magnificent Seven has reported earnings. We're only holding out with Nvidia, and we'll see what happens with that one. But these are getting fully cooked, and even though we have a strong economy, we may be setting up for a blow off top, which kind of scares me a little bit, just a little bit. Anyway, we can talk about it more. I've been talking about it, how the risk is that we just blow this baby out. You know, Apple actually being a laggard. And I didn't update this chart. This is the same chart I've had. The primary expectation, sideways. We break down below this low from back here in early January. Now it's last month. Welcome to February. Holy, what the heck happened in January? We're already 1/12 of the way through the year. Gosh, before you know it, we'll be 1/6 of the way through the year, and then a quarter of the way through the year. I mean, 2024 is going to fly by. It seems like that's a lot of red days in a row. Right back to the roadmap line. This will be the third visit down here. Are we going to bounce? I give it the ability. When we didn't break this for a couple days, I went short with some puts and closed them for about 100%, I think it was. And yesterday, kind of a crap day in the market, down 80 points on the S&P. Apple taking it on the chin too. But this kind of sets up the pop on earnings. I have a small position, small dollar risk position, not just small number of calls, but small dollar risk position in some calls looking for this pop. If we get below this low, 150, not out of the question on Apple. Not bad, not bad. Amazon. That was not enough retrace. Could go higher, but the odds are down for me. Odds are for a negative reaction on Amazon. Haven't been down here since October. Be careful on that one. That's, my target that I held for freaking a year. We finally hit 160. Sometimes I get lucky on that. Timeline was way off though. Look, this is why. You see, this last pullback, nice 3-wave structure, right into this support resistance orange box zone. We came up to the 1618 resistance and turned down. Now, we could just go popping off and pop up to 178, 186, 188. Still a ways away from the all-time high up here. That's right at 188. Draw that across. Could we go shoot up there? It's possible. Maybe the 2618. I just see a higher likelihood of going down. It's uncertain at this point. That's like it's kind of a coin flip, this high or this low. And that high would be a blow off top. But that's not, look, we've been seeing some ridiculous moves, even in Microsoft. And then the reaction was negative on earnings. But that doesn't mean we won't just go rocketing higher. That was pretty rough right there if you were expecting it just to go rocketing off to 430. I would be very careful in the market right now. Look at Google. Roadmap line? Maybe. Might take it a little while. It didn't just go straight there like FedEx did back here on their last earnings. Didn't just go from the 1272 right down to the roadmap line. Or Walmart, right from the 1272 right down to the roadmap line. And this one, yesterday, interesting. Getting a little pullback. The next target on Walmart up there, 175. But Meta, again, this one looking a little fully cooked here. And At this point, I might as well clear off all this stuff we've had on here because we're up in clear air. $463, but we haven't really done a pullback. I mean, look at that. From the bottom, we only came down. We didn't even actually touch the roadmap line. We haven't actually been, we gapped away from it and we haven't been back to it. That's dangerous price action. It's going to pull back and it may be wicked. I mean, you see what happened over here. Am I saying that's happening again? No, I'm not necessarily. But when the music stops, be careful. Be careful, be careful, be careful. All right, that covers the three majors for today. Let's see what's actually happening and crapping today. ES got a little pullback off those highs yesterday. The market needs a bit bigger pullback. If this Magnificent 7 doesn't impress, we may see the bigger pullback. 5%, that'd be beautiful. All right, 10% would be even better at this point. And the market narrative for a pullback may be, hey, the market expected these rate cuts. Remember, rate cuts not bullish. We get a pullback, that's the excuse, and then we go ripping off because not cutting rates is actually bullish. Think about it. All right, think about it. You don't cut rates unless there's a problem, and it's not about we've contained the problem and we're gonna ease the lending so that we can keep growing. Don't listen to all that bullshit. They don't know what they're doing. It takes 2 years for the interest rates to trickle through the economy, and there's no you don't just work the throttle on the cruise ship. Coming in the harbor, you don't just up and down it. That's why they use the tugboats to get in the harbor. I mean, you don't run the giant ship up and down with the motor. I mean, it's just not the way it works. All right, you don't run the engine up and down on the freight train. It's just not the way it works. It takes a long time to turn that baby around. You don't just we missed the turn. Let's back up. Turn right. It's just not the way the economy works. All right, and they're messing with the economy, not the stock market. So you got to keep it's extremely difficult for us, but you got to keep them separate in your mind. So that's just a little baby hiccup in the ES. We may get some retrace because that was pretty vicious yesterday, down 80, and retrace being up when the direction was down. Kind of expect further downside in the big picture, but time will tell. We may just go shooting off, hit these 5150 targets, and then pay the piper for doing an epic blow off top. NQ getting that little bit of pullback right down, kind of it didn't do the head and shoulders, obviously, and at this point we have an uptrend of the lows going. So if we get below that, kind of watch out. Kind of watch out. Kind of watch out. Should start removing all this stuff. So there you go. That's support right now. Right down here around 17,000. Maybe like, JT, how do you trade NQ1? It's just you divide by 41 and you get the prices for QQQ. It's the same pattern. It's just NQ trades basically 24/7. While QQQ doesn't. They stop trading from 8 p.m. till about 4 a.m. and NQ trades all that time. So these are the NASDAQ futures. ES is the S&P 500 futures. SPX, we get these gaps. So looks like the market just opened up 20. And take a quarter back. See what happens. Russell still looks like that looks like it wants to come down here. May get a little retrace reprieve before we push on further down. We need to flush some stuff out. This is the most sure pattern that I see right now out of those three indexes. Why not use the Dow? Because it's freaking cooked. Like they have so many adjustment factors in there, it just doesn't mean anything. CL. It's interesting. Interesting price action. It has overlapped this pretty well, which really makes me wonder if we may not do that last little pop there. This overlap calls into question the immediate bullishness for me. That right there, for those of you that were in person a couple weeks ago, that really makes me wonder. One little dip is acceptable on futures, but maintaining several days of overlap, not cool. That's not really going to work. Something else is playing out. Not really sure at the moment what that might be. We're going to have to see. This is support right here at the moment. And right at the bottom of the box. We're going to have to see what this develops into. If this can pop back up, could possibly go bullish. Could be, it could be that this is a sub pattern. This is the 1, 2, 3, 4. It could be like this is that's the 1. This is the 2. This is the 3. This is the high that we don't want to overlap. This is the 4. Wherever it ends over here, and then we get the 5. That would be, let's delete that for a second and pick this one. I don't usually do all this, but this is what I sit here and do all day long. Make a copy. Something, we may top out right there. Get another retrace that doesn't overlap this high. May retrace from here like this. So it may get real choppy for a little bit. And then we push on up the size of this over here for that final move. Could be the size of this move right over here. Could take us up to about 86, possibly. Yeah. Put a marker up there and see if we do it. So if we do this, that may be what we got cooking on oil. Cooking on oil. Any questions? That's how we could resurrect the bullishness. It's not going to just shoot up. It's going to chop a little bit, probably. Chop in this area. If we do the, if we complete this pattern right here like this, oh baby, this thing's going to get epically, this is going to get interesting right into the election. Oil can thwart the rate cut plans. Goose and I have talked about this pretty extensively. Think about it. Think about it. They're using oil. I mean, you're using inflation as like the gauge. Like, where do we cut? What's the biggest component right now? Gold's still down the list. One of the biggest component is energy expenses and gasoline. They've cut virtually everything else out. Like, everything else is ridiculously overpriced, so they cut it all out down to the core CPI. And Powell was even talking about the core CPI yesterday and core PCE yesterday when he was saying that they basically weren't going to cut rates in March. Oil rocking higher is going to cause inflation to come ripping back in a ferocious way. I think if they're smart as they think they are, they may see the fact that oil may be in for a rip. And that could put a hurt in. And that may be what the rhetoric is to slow this baby down. The fact that if we get into a war in the Middle East, or there's all sorts of things that could support oil taking off. So be careful there. Gold just kind of churning right here a little bit. We may see a pop. It's sitting right on that resistance, right on that breakout. If we push up, probably expect a return to the high. This potentially was all the correction. Really expected it to see deeper in the daily time frame here, but at this point, that would take us right back up to the highs. If we can break out above this little zone right here where we found resistance once, twice, if we get above it, probably takes us right back up to that high, right up to this resistance zone up here. Be pretty nice. But my big picture, that's still a somewhat corrective pattern, and I would expect it to drift lower over the coming days. This is just a daily chart, not, I'm not talking small time frame. Anything can happen in the next, 3 days. Bitcoin, so far confirming the rejection of that channel. Rejection. We're going to have to save it the next day or two. Otherwise, this is getting to be a problem here. Ethereum, same situation. Rejected. Breaking back into the downtrend. Or uptrend. The uptrend of the lows. Excuse me. Uptrend of the lows. Rejected, breaking back above that. Kind of puts the odds going down here. Dollar. Interesting. Still, it's gone flatline. I mean, look at that. This thing is gone. It's like it died. Now, something interesting, the Treasury put out a report, and they don't expect to write Treasury coupons. And they don't expect to borrow more money to pay the bills for the United States. I really don't know how they expect to stay solvent. Like, I don't know what rabbit they're going to pull out of the hat. Unless they were just completely making up numbers just to try to goose the market or something. It really doesn't make any sense. If you go look at the Treasury report and they're projected like next couple quarters, what they expect to spend on interest and coupons and bills. And I mean, it really makes no sense what they plan on doing. They expect to like put to rest hundreds of billions of dollars of coupons and debt. But how? How are you going to? It's not like, I mean, we're running on debt here. We're not just going to reduce the spending. Like, they keep juicing up the GDP with the government spending. So you got me. How that's going to affect the dollar? We may see the dollar plummet out. This is a lot of resistance right here. The next move down potentially would be right down here to 99. Extension down to 98. Further extension down to 96. We'll see how this plays out. All right, what's moving today? A line, nice little pop. Beating on the top and beating on the bottom. Popping up. That's a red candle though. Be careful. We can extend this lower. Right here. 141. Race. Nice. That just rejected. Touching the roadmap line right there. Just going for it. That high. That low. Right up to 383, possibly 397 on the upside. And I had those little targets on up there. So could go up there. In NSC, Norfolk Southern. All right, like that little pullback. You'd be like, well, that didn't hit the roadmap line. Well, it probably did on the hourly. Yeah, that was an hourly move. Nice little pop. It works on all different time frames. ASML, it really depends on what you're trading. Like, I don't trade those little moves because I don't trade on I don't go hunting for them on the hourly most of the time. ASML right up there. This is like one I did trade on the daily here, and freaking crushed it. Bought in at 400, got out 520, or not 400, excuse me. Got in down here at 600. Got out up here 800, or maybe it's 7. I guess it's 700, 800, 700, 800. I had that trade up last week. Next upside resistance 900. I missed out on 80 points, I guess. Looks like not far away, 15 away. FBLG. What the fudge? If that's an IPO, IPOs are 99% of IPOs are bearish, period. It can go higher initially, but usually they start out in some sort of corrective and then they go lower. You know, somebody was asking me in Discord about Flutter Entertainment, and look, there's more data. Huh. That's interesting. Couldn't load that earlier. IPOs tend to be bearish, but that one seems to have a bit more data now. It did go lower than the... What did they do? Do they get listed on a bigger exchange? Is that what happened? I don't even know. Right now, that's still not still not bullish here. So whatever that happened over here, they went lower. I don't know. It's just sideways at the moment in a large range. I'd be very cautious. That's not a bullish pattern. So, SMCI keeps doing ridiculous stuff. The party is going to end. I can't warn you enough. Be careful. Make sure that you book your profit before the end of the party. Party is going to end. It's going to end pretty epically. It's going to end all the way across AI. I mean, look. They ate almost all of their revenue with COGS, gross profit, and then they only have a 3x price to sales. It's not like they have a 20, 30% margin going here. This is, I mean, they're barely squeaking out net income off of billions of dollars. Watch out. That one's going to come back to earth. ETN. Let's see. What price to sales these guys have? And 0.69. 0.55. Yeah. Compared to the segment they operate in, they're pretty ridiculously. Let's say, oh, maybe they compete with IBM. Yeah, over IBM, even 2.8. Eaton, resistance at 270. NXT, good Lord, man. I've seen this before, all right? It's been a while. I've seen this kind of crazy stuff before. We're going to get a vicious pullback. I mean, I sound like a broken record on that one, but yeah, earnings aren't coming up for a little while. About a month from 3 weeks from now. That one may pop on up to 740 before we hit the earnings. FNGU. That one's going to get a pullback. ETSY. Consolidating under the roadmap line. The target would be to the downside on 50 if we get below these lows right here. Here's this little support. If we push down below that, watch out for that. If we can break back up here, get above this, we could do something more bullish, but looking iffy at the moment. That's a lot of red candles lately. Starting to tip the odds. And the bigger picture down, I had predicted a long time ago, was down here, 44. QRVO, just sideways. Royal Caribbean pushed up. That looks like it's topping out here. We may get a deeper retrace. Maybe like, JT, you don't know what you're talking about. Look at that retrace. You say it's the end of season, but look at this one. February. Right down through April. You don't think it can do this again? Look, it was up here. It's right back down. Be careful. Chasing stuff, all right? Meta, we already kind of talked about. This is looking really cooked. The coin flip, it can go higher. It's still got higher targets. ANET. I don't mess with stuff that's like at the top of the range and looking overextended. I just don't like that. There's low opportunity. I'm not usually bottom hunting either. I'm looking for stuff that's made a bottom, reversing, setting up a pattern, looking to go higher. That's not any of this stuff so far. ENPH looks like it may go lower. All this alternate energy stuff just keeps getting whacked. I mean, there was a time when think about it. This was the hot thing for a good long while, right? Stuff just kept on climbing. It's kind of like AI right now. This stuff kept on going, kept on going. I mean, we saw that in FSLR. Look at that. We kept on rocking, right? No limit. And then we're doing a correction. SCDG. Back here. Like, sky's the limit. And then we chopped. And then we broke down and hanging out down here. So be careful. All those were on the list. CRWD. If it can break out, we may rally on up to 350, but having a little trouble. May need a retrace. BALL. Ball. Huh? Ball jars, right? Sideways. It's kind of interesting right there. Ball can, ball jars. Is this a ball? No, I think Coca-Cola is. Oh, I have a Coke can. Thought I had one. That's the lowest low. It's not exactly bullish looking. Okay, TA. Just kind of chopping around. You got stopped there, 175 put for 200% gain. Awesome, Aaron. Awesome. Forgot to read the chat for a minute. Sorry about that. And ROK. Yeesh. So we're going down. DPST. So we're going down. There's some kind of banking problem brewing. We saw that. So yesterday, New York, whatever it was, New York Bank, that had bought most of the SVB assets, having to cut their dividend by 75% and marking down stuff like 40% law. I mean, it was pretty bad stuff. So there's some banking problem brewing. Holding the rates higher was not what the banks are expecting. They weren't planning on. They were listening and taking action on the rhetoric that we're going to get rate cuts, and now those rate cuts aren't coming. It may and Powell and the Fed adjusting the guidance on the emergency lending facility, which is supposed to end in March next month, but I have a feeling they're going to extend it because it just keeps getting popped up, keeps getting popped up. I mean, there's something brewing. You can see it in the chart right here. This was the lower high. You see it in this chart. It doesn't seem to be affecting the big banks. It doesn't seem to be affecting the big banks, but those littler banks, the regional banks, something's brewing. Some kind of problem's brewing. You can see it in the chart. I don't know what it is. People know something. I'm just telling you. Commercial real estate. Something's brewing. BA was popping. Now they're dropping. Still expect that one to go on down. I was thinking maybe it would flush out on earnings. Didn't do it. I only had a couple days. I got till tomorrow on my options. Maybe I get lucky. But we'll see what happens. That was another roadmap line bounce. Kind of sets us up to extend lower. Probably 189 on the next push. Yeah, SEDG, already talked about that. It's looking pretty horrible. Starting to push down into the bottom of the... We get below 50, 53, maybe 39 on the downside there. That one just keeps being bad. Merck popped up to the 1272. 128 above that. CCJ. Pushing limits. 53, 55 on the upside. URNM. Uranium miners. Shoot, man. How's uranium looking? Oh, yeah, baby. I got long shares with $35 and $40 calls sold against this, and had it since way back here. Just kind of sitting. Keep selling those calls, and as we push higher, I'm going to sell higher and higher calls. Just waiting. Boot. There's an old friend from a year ago. Yeah, that's not bullish. That was a big three-wave up. Beth, you asked the question, how do you know when they're going to do the bullish or the bearish? Look right here. I didn't know at the time, all right? That big move up, that retrace right here. We saw it hit the 6-1 or the 618. We saw it do the measured bounce. It stopped right on that 100% of that first move. That makes it a bearish correction type thing. And it fully retraced that move. Now it might set up, I don't know what it'll do exactly at the moment. We could rally up to 89 again and then flush on off on a third move down to a lower low. That's kind of what we've got right now. This whole thing looks like it may do a corrective move to a lower low. Somewhere down that zone. Anyway. You just don't know if it, like, you could target up here and that one didn't do it. Stopping at the 100% made that bearish. And you don't really know which one it is. That was the part of the key of the in-person event I did. TGT. So we're going to come back and test the roadmap line again. Might be on earnings all the way out in March. Could just chop sideways till March. Tesla. It was popping. Now it's kind of dropping. Let's see what we got. Zooming up a little bit. Yeah. Turning red. Not so sure on that one. Showing a little weakness. I was hoping to see this bounce right back up. Make an opportunity to visit that 180 price that I didn't get filled at. TWLO looks like she's going to come down and retest this zone. DDOG. DDOG. That looks like it may, like, there's the support. We could just extend on up to 141. If we break down below here, could visit this. AMD. And we got We got further up targets, 220. If it breaks back down, we get back to the roadmap line. We break down below that. We're probably coming on down to like 80, somewhere in this 80 to 90, maybe 80 to 100 area right in here. If we break down. If we don't, higher targets. ALB, this thing just keeps looking horrible. That could break, that could go touch 100 pretty easy. PDD. Either needs to touch the roadmap line now, or we're going to churn until we do at some point over here. Amazon, like I said, kind of at the top. Doesn't mean we can't pop more. 188 would be the all-time high. That would catch it up with the rest of QQQ. But so it's lagging the rest of big tech. If you want to still call this big tech, I don't know. Is the consumer actually strong? Amazon doesn't seem to say so. Coming off the bottom, but that's not super strength in the consumer right there. Stopping at the one, not the one, at the 786. We're just above the 618. If we go on extensions, 220, 219. But that's got a lot of work to do between 160 and 219, 210. ITW coming back, possibly to the roadmap line pretty viciously. CNMD, the list was pretty long today. Lots of stuff moving pre-market. That looks like it's going down. 1, 2, 3 would be the. May come on down. That'd be a lower low. Yeah. That looks like it wants to go on down. That's medtech. Be careful on that. Biotech, medtech. BDX. Sideways, choppy garbage. REVB. That's a dumpster fire. Whoa. Pretty sure that's been on the list before, but that's an absolute dumpster fire. Don't mess with that stuff. HON, Honeywell, just chopping sideways. Consolidating. Where's it in? Who knows? Can just keep going. Don't mess with them until they. There's no reason to mess with the ones that are just chopping sideways. CAH, Cardinal Health. Hey, there's healthcare that's rocking. Get in the ones that are doing it. Let's look for your entry. Maybe if next time it hits the roadmap line, think about it. But don't know where you have a plan. Don't stay wrong if in one. Let's see. It's not being wrong that costs you money. It's staying wrong. Reading the Reminiscences of a Stock Operator, and almost through, and all the lessons he talks about from 100 years ago are all stuff I say, all stuff I tell people. It's so crazy. I'm like, these are the lessons of the stock market, and it's been the same for 100 years, 1,000 years. I don't know. As long as people have been trading stuff, it's probably the dang same. Same psychology, same price action, same things happen constantly. We put stories to things, and the stories aren't what moves it. That guy from 100 years ago even says the price action dominates the chart, not dominates the stock movement. Has nothing to do with the earnings, nothing to do with the reports, nothing to do with the news. And he even says many times in the book that the chart tops out before anything happens that makes any kind of sense. So weird. And that was before Sir Eliot wrote his manual on Elliott wave theory that I believe in so heartily. So this, it's just crazy stuff. If you haven't read that book, I'll share the link with you. I bought it on Audible, so I've been actually listening to it, reading it. AFL coming back to the roadmap line. Right at it. If we hold it, that's good. Aflac. That one may go deeper. If it breaks on down, could come down to 70 BC. Hanging out at the Brunswick. They still do bowling auto parts. No, auto parts. I don't know if they still do bowling too. Maybe that's a different company. Yeah, recreational. Green products. Green engines, boats, parts, accessories. And Wolf. Looks pretty garbage. 21. All right. Bias for the day. Cautious. We may, I don't think we finished this correction. Just throwing that out there. Took it back. Going red. Be careful. S5FI. Indicating that we may be on the path to the bottom. UCOM, there's nothing to say. Roadmap line, that's the target. And yeah, bias for the day is still down. Sideways chop to down. We're basically at a top until we can correct. Can we keep extending? Sure. We gotta do a correction. We gotta flush some weak hands out. That's just the way this works. Otherwise, it's gonna be really tough to do constructive trading. All right, everybody. I'll be in Discord, and I got a live encore probably at 4 after the close. I think it is for green light income alerts. It's my trade on 172.0. The link to register. Let me find that really quickly. Throw it in the chat, and if you're interested, you can come check it out. Copy link. Throw in the chat right here, right there. I think you can. I can link the book in Discord. They've got the it's Reminiscences of a Stock Market Operator. I don't have the link handy. I was gonna link it up after I finish reading it. So I'll give the whole story. If I said anything that you liked beneficial, let me know in the chat. I'll look it up on Amazon really quickly and see. Stock operator, Reminiscences of a Stock Operator, and is that the one I have? No, it's not. I don't even know which one I have. Cool. Yeah, I don't even know which one I bought. There's a bunch of versions, but I don't have affiliate links or anything, so I'll just let me see if I can find the link on the page. Anywhere. No. Amazon should just make it easy to copy this stuff, but they don't. Freaking sweet. Here, I'll throw it in the chat right here. There you go. That's the book. I don't have that copy. I have a different copy. And that one's kind of expensive. I think I paid $1 for the Audible version. Pretty sweet book. I like the story and how it's basically parallel to exactly what I do just 100 years ago. So crazy. Anyway, have a great day, everybody. I'll be in Discord. You want to come join me? Link is in the description. $5. If I said anything you like, beneficial, give me a thumbs up, give me a like. Make sure you're subscribed. I'll be back again tomorrow, and we'll talk about Apple, Amazon, Meta, and the rest of the crew that reports earnings, if anything's moving. Have a great day, everybody.